Hey everybody, welcome back to our curated playthrough of Mass Effect. Before we get started, I just want to quickly jump into the Mako. This place is hazardous after all. Now, in the previous couple of episodes, we've been spending quite a lot of time on the Citadel. We finally met up with the consort, which everyone was talking about, and managed to resolve a relationship issue she was having with a Turian general. We've finally made it out here to the Artemis Tau cluster and trying to look for Nasana's sister, but we've actually discovered something a little bit more. She may actually be related to the leader of these pirates, so I'm going to need to go back to the Citadel and confront her about that. Before we head off of this planet, let's visit the last waypoint, point of interest rather. I think there's an anomaly somewhere along those mountains in the distance. I see a mineral marker there on the radar, so might check that out as well. Let's see, not really seeing it. Oh yeah, I think it's up there, sort of 3/4 of the way to the top. Right, what do we have here? A thorium deposit. Successfully surveyed a large deposit of thorium. Great. Nice to earn a little bit of money and XP there. Alright. And the anomaly is close by, but I think we should get down this mountain first and then work our way towards it. Nice little sunset view there. Okay, I see something. Looks like a couple of crates, and it almost looks like a tent of some sort. Nasari capsule. Matriarch's writings recovered. It's not clear who lived here, but it appears to have been abandoned for some time. The container in the tent held, among other things, one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings. His Matriarch writings. I think we've found some before. Might need to quickly check the journal here. Here it is. Asari writings. Belong to Matriarch Delinaga. Looks like there are many others. Okay, so it's basically a collectible quest, similar to the Turian insignias that we've been finding. Alright, I don't think there's anything else for us to do on Sharjilla. No other markers here, so let's go back to the Normandy. Alright, good to be back on board. Now, in the previous episode, we did pick up quite a few codexes everywhere. Now, I just realized that we did miss one right here about the point defense systems. So, now that we have that, let's quickly check it out. Ships and vehicles. Here we go. Weapons. Guardian. A ship's General Area Defense Integration Anti-Spacecraft Network, or Guardian, consists of anti-missile, anti-fighter laser turrets on the exterior hull. Because these are under computer control, the gunnery control officer needs to do little beyond turn the system on and designate targets as hostile. Since lasers move at light speed, they cannot be dodged by anything moving at non-relativistic speeds. Unless the beam is aimed poorly, it will always hit its target. In the early stages of a battle, the Guardian fire is 100% accurate. It is not 100% lethal, but it does not have to be. Damaged fighters must break off for repairs. Lasers are limited by diffraction. The beam spreads out, decreasing the energy density or watts per meter square the weapon can place on a target. Any high-powered laser is a short-ranged weapon. Guardian networks have another limitation: heat. Weapons-grade lasers use cooldown time during which heat is transferred to sinks or radiators. As lasers fire, heat builds within them, reducing damage, range, and accuracy. Fighters attack in swarms. The first few will be hit by Guardian, but as the battle continues, the effects of laser overheat allow the attackers to press ever closer to the ship. Constant use will burn out a laser. Guardian lasers typically operate in infrared sequences. Shorter frequencies would offer superior stopping power and range, but degradation of focal arrays and mirrors would make them very expensive to maintain. And most prefer mechanical reliability over bleeding edge performance where lives are concerned. Solarians, however, use near ultraviolet frequency lasers with 6 times the range, believing that having additional time to shoot down incoming missiles is more important. Lasers are not blocked by the kinetic barriers of capital ships. However, the range of lasers limits the use to rare knife fight range ship-to-ship combat. Very cool. Alright, and I think we did miss a couple of other codexes when we were reading this in the previous episode, so let's have a quick look. I think there is one more on FTL here. Ftl Drive Appearance. New space travelers ask, what does it look like outside a ship moving at faster than light speed? Part of the answer can be seen in a simple pane of glass. Light travels slower through glass than it does through open air. Light also moves slower in conventional space than it does in a high-speed Mass Effect field. This causes refraction. Any light entering at an angle is bent and separated into a spectrum. Objects outside the ship will appear refracted. The greater the difference between the objective exterior and subjective interior speeds of light, the greater the refraction. As the subjective speed of light is raised within the field, objects outside will appear to redshift, eventually becoming visible only to radio telescope antenna. High-energy electromagnetic sources normally hidden to the eye become visible in the high blue spectrum. As the speed of light continues to be raised, X-ray, gamma ray, and eventually cosmic ray sources become visible. Stars will be replaced by pulsars, the accretion disks of black holes, quasars, and gamma ray bursts. To an outside observer, a ship with a Mass Effect drive envelope appears blue shifted. If within a field that allows travel at twice the speed of light, any radiation it emits has twice the energy as normal. If the ship is in a field of about 200 times light speed, it radiates visible light as X-rays and gamma rays, and the infrared heat from the hull is blue shifted up into the visible spectrum or higher. Ships moving at FTL are visible at great distances, though their signature will only propagate at the speed of light. Alright, very interesting sort of physics concepts there. Now, I think we also missed one primary entry as well about the ships, so let's take a look. Here, space combat.
Ship mobility dominates space combat. The primary objective is to align the mass accelerator along the bow with the opposing vessel's broadside. Battles typically play out as artillery duels, fought at ranges measured in thousands of kilometers, though assaults through defended mass relays often occur at knife fight ranges, as close as a few dozen kilometers. Most ship-to-ship engagements are skirmishes between patrol vessels of cruiser weight and below, with dreadnoughts and carriers only deployed in full-scale fleet actions. Battles in open space are short and often inconclusive, as the weaker opponent typically disengages. Once a ship enters FTL flight, the combat is effectively over. There are no sensors capable of tracking them or weapons capable of damaging them. The only way to guarantee an enemy will stand and fight is to attack a location they have a vested interest in, such as a settled world or a strategically important mass relay.
Righto. A little bit about ship combat strategy right there. Now, we are going to do some more side missions in today's episode, guys, but before we get going, just want to quickly check on our equipment. We have been picking up quite a few new weapons, pieces of armor, and upgrades. And I reckon it might be a good idea to just start reviewing our equipment, because things are going to get harder from here on out. So, hey Garrus.
Commander, how are you?
Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people. I guess my father had something to do with it too. He was CSEC, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
That's tough, but you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Saren.
My father's a CSEC man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Saren. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate, me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can, but Saren's not going to play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
Just because you can break the rules doesn't mean you should. I don't need to stoop to Saren's level to stop him. And neither do you, Garrus.
I see what you mean, but I'll think about it. Thanks, Commander.
He seems a little bit conflicted there. Alright, let's take a look at the lockers. We are going to take Caden. Alright, what do we have here? No new assault rifles. We've got the Kessler 3, but I don't know, Stinger 2 still seems to be the better option. We can probably give him another upgrade here. Yeah, Heatsink 3 looks good. Yes, and we picked up a couple of amps, so he can take one of the new Unity amps. And armor-wise, yeah, I don't think there's anything better than what we have currently, so we'll leave him with the Scorpion for now. And we're going to take Garrus out again, so let's quickly take a look here. I think we have a couple of Furian armors. Okay. Maybe he can't equip medium armor just yet. We might have to spend a few points for that. Let's see if we can give him some better weapons here. Yeah. I think he can take Avenger 3, probably. Yeah. And let's give him a couple of upgrades for that. I reckon maybe armor piercing and maybe a high caliber barrel might be good. Just worried about the rate of fire. Okay. He could probably take the Banshee 1 instead of the Lancer. give him a couple of upgrades here as well. Maybe phasic rounds. And maybe the high caliber barrel here as well. Alright. Happy with that. Let's just quickly check our own equipment here. Alright, let's upgrade to Hammerhead 3 and Combat Sensors 3 as well. And grenades. Let's see. Yes, we've got a grenade upgrade. Fusion explosive. So we'll take that. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with that. Doesn't look like you can spend points here on the ship for all of the other crew members. So we'll have to get to that in a moment. Let's head back up. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, we did pick up a couple of codex entries from our conversation with Garrus here about Turians. Turian culture. While Turians are individuals with personal desires, their instinct is to equate the self with the group and set aside personal desires for the good of all. Turians are taught to have a strong sense of personal accountability, the Turian honor that other races find so remarkable. Turians are taught to own every decision they make, good or ill. The worst sin they can make in the eyes of their people is to lie about their own actions. Turians who murder will try to get away with it, but if directly questioned, most will confess the crime. Turians have a strong inclination towards public service and self-sacrifice, so they tend to be poor entrepreneurs. To compensate, they accept the mercantile Volus as a client race, offering protection in exchange for their fiscal expertise. The Turian military is the center of their society. It is not just an armed force, it is an all-encompassing public works organization. The military police are also the civic police. The fire brigades serve the civilian population as well as military facilities. The Corps of Engineers builds and maintains spaceports, schools, water purification plants, and power stations. The Merchant Marine ensures that all worlds get needed resources. And one more here on the Turian military doctrine. Although they lack the brutality of the Krogan, the skills of the Asari, and the virtuosity of humans, the Turian military has formidable discipline. Officers and NCOs are lifers with years of field experience. Enlisted personnel are thoroughly trained and stay calm under fire. Turian units don't break, even if their entire line collapses. They fall back in order, setting ambushes as they go. A popular saying holds, you will only see a Turian's back once he's dead. Boot camp begins on the 15th birthday. Soldiers receive a year of training before being assigned to a field unit. Officers train for even longer. Most serve until the age of 30, at which point they become part of the reserves. Even if they suffer injuries preventing frontline service, most do support work behind the lines. Biotics are uncommon. While admired for their exacting skills, biotics' motives are not always fully trusted by the common soldier. The Turians prefer to assign their biotics to specialized teams called cabals. Command and control is decentralized and flexible. Individual squads can call for artillery and air support. They make extensive use of combat drones for light duties and practice combined arms. Infantry operates with armor supported by overhead gunships. Strategically, they are methodical and patient and dislike risky operations. Tradition is important. Each legion has a full-time staff of historians who chronicle its battle honors in detail. The oldest have records dating back to the Turian Iron Age. If a legion is destroyed in battle, it is reconstituted rather than replaced. The Turians recruit auxiliary units from conquered or absorbed minor races. Auxiliaries are generally light infantry or armored cavalry units. that screen and support the main Turian formations. At the conclusion of their service in the auxiliaries, recruits are granted Turian citizenship. Alright. Very good. They sort of remind me a little bit of the Covenant. You know, they have other alien races working for them, basically. Alright, so let's make our way back to the galaxy map. And we should try and get the show on the road. I have a couple of side quests in mind. Okay, so let's quickly just take a look at the journal here. I think one of the first things we're going to do is see if we can complete a side quest here in the Ftl Cluster. And I believe that Admiral Kahoku's missing Marines are located somewhere here. So go to the Sparta system in the Ftl Cluster. So and I think that's the last system that we haven't really visited in this cluster. So let's open the map and work our way there. Oh, and we shouldn't forget, but we better scan all of the planets and asteroid fields here. So let's do that first. Fargulus, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. Fargulus is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant with an abundance of airborne hydrocarbons. And we've got a concentration of xenon. Okay. And let's just quickly scan this asteroid field. There we go. Metallic asteroid. Metal-rich asteroid. A large deposit of titanium. Okay. And I think that's it for Macedon. So let's make our way to Sparta. Alright, as usual, let's work our way from the top. There's quite a few planets here. Alsages. Small distant Alsages is a small terrestrial with a trace atmosphere of methane and argon. The surface is composed of water ice and calcium with occasional deposits of light metals. During the Alliance's pirate suppression campaign in the 2160s, the Batarian Eliuam Ranpera was caught with his frigate Tunaron grounded on Alsages for drive discharge. When challenged by the cruiser Hyderabad, Ranpera refused to surrender. The Tunaron was destroyed attempting to take off. The debris is strewn across the southern hemisphere. Interesting names there. Deposit of plutonium. Now, Hyderabad, I believe that's the name of one of the cities in India, which I have actually visited. Beautiful place. Asteroid Cluster. A collection of silicous asteroids loosely bound together by gravity. Prothean data disk. While scanning the asteroid field in the Sparta system, you found signs of habitation. A recon team was sent to investigate on one of the larger asteroids. The rock had a small functioning biodome, but no sign of anyone still living there. There was, however, a data console with an intact Prothean data disk inside. Alright, got pretty lucky there with finding that asteroid cluster. Tremanre. Tremanre is a dwarf planet composed of light magnesium silicates with deposits of aluminium. Its surface is covered by wide swaths of ancient dark basaltic lava, possibly indicating the world was created through an impact with some other body in the system. Tramanri's magnetic field is non-existent. This makes it impossible for ships to dump drive charge from orbit. That said, Tramanri's minuscule gravity allows even cruiser-sized vessels to land safely for direct grounding. Okay. Now, next, Idolus.
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
Alright, sounds like this might be the place. Idolus is a terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Idolus's surface is covered by wide deserts of silicate sand, with only a few areas of igneous rock highlands to break the abrasive dust-choked wind. Idolus's orbit is congested with debris thrown inwards by the gravity of the gas giant Ontamalka. Due to a high rate of meteor impacts, exploration is highly dangerous. Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna land. I don't really care if it's highly dangerous or not. Alright, we are taking Garrus and Caden for this one. Alright, here we are on Idolus. Let's quickly check on the map. We've got debris over there, an anomaly, and that's the distress signal. I think we should start there since it's right in front of us, so let's move out. Hopefully the distress signal is coming out from those Marines that we need to find. I see something off in the far distance over there. Some sort of transport ship. Oh! Yeah, that's a pressure moor. We are going to have to be very careful here. That thing can tear us to shreds. I definitely don't want to stay stationary because I think the pincers can pretty much kill us in one go. Be careful of this. I assume it's like acid spit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I managed to dodge that lot. Just trying to be extra careful here. It definitely melts our hull pretty quickly. Sensory tentacles. Gotta take these out before we're gonna be able to do any damage to the pressure moor directly. Okay, just a little bit more. Oh my god, alright, that was bad. Ow. Okay, let's, oh lord. Repair, definitely need repairing. Oh god, alright. We are really not looking good, guys. Okay, we might want to do another batch of repairing here. Let's just get out of the way first. We want to probably get a little bit of distance because fighting this thing at close range is a bad idea. Okay, Some more repairs in there, which is good. Oh, the cannon's overheated. Just a couple more of these tentacles. Let's take him out. Oh. Alright. Ooh, wow. That was a lot of XP and a lot of money as well. Alright. The Mako is looking really bad right now. Let's investigate. Yeah, here are the Marines.
Alliance soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
These are Admiral Cahogo's men. We need to tell him what happened here.
We sure do. Well, I guess we're gonna have to make it back to the Citadel and report back to the Admiral. It's not gonna be good news, unfortunately. But, hey, that is the price of exploration, I suppose. And yeah, just pointing out as well that I think the Thresher Maw is what was featured in our bio as well. The attack on Akuz was done by Thresher Maws, and we basically were the sole survivor of a Thresher Maw attack. So it's interesting that we actually get to see these things in game. Alright, so we're just making our way to the anomaly here. I'm not sure about repairing the Mako some more. I am being a little bit cheap here because I'm assuming that our engineers back in the Normandy will repair this thing to full health, so I don't really want to spend any of our Omni-Gel on it. Let's see what we're supposed to be looking at here. There we go. Something here.
Cover me.
Mummified Solarian. Huh. Maybe one of those League of One guys. You found Captain Mylon's identification tag. How it ended up here is impossible to know for sure. Okay, so not one of those League of One guys. I'm not entirely sure what that was, to be honest, but maybe we'll have to check the journal at some point. Some debris there, let's go out and investigate. Like this planet constantly gets meteor showers. Not exactly the most pleasant place. Alright, we've got a crashed probe.
Heading to position.
Oh, damn it. Caden, Let's see if we can get your electronics up. Maybe we'll spend it till we get master overload. See if that does the trick. It certainly does. Okay. Come on. Damn it. Alright, not too bad. Bunch of ammo upgrades there. Alright. Oh, and I've just noticed, but there's a mineral marker here as well, which was not originally on the map, I don't think. So let's go out, see what we can find. Something shiny, or some sort of silver deposit. Lithium. There you go. Damn it! Damn it! Being a little bit rash there. Good stuff. I think that's everything we can do on Idolus, so I think it's time to go back to the Normandy. Alright, very good. So, now that we've completed that side quest, I want to take a look at the journal and see if we can plan out the next place to visit. And we picked up a couple of assignments from listening to the news in the elevators on the Citadel. And I think one of the entries was about this hostage situation. So, board the freighter and... yeah, the freighter in the Farinata system of the Hades Gamma Cluster. So, I think that's our next destination, guys, the Hades Gamma Cluster. So, let's open the map and make our way there. Oh, actually, we mustn't forget to also complete scanning everything here. So, let's take a look. Ontamalka. Ontamalka is a large hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and sulfur in the atmosphere. Its massive gravity well tugs many asteroids from the outer belt inwards, past the orbit of Altair and Idolus, and eventually settles into the inner belt. Ontamalka's orbit is congested with hundreds of captured moons. Most last only a few thousand years before being ejected, dragged down into the atmosphere, or ripped apart by tidal forces and added to the gas giant's immense rings. Attempting to navigate this chaotic environment is hazardous at best. Ships without military-grade kinetic barriers are likely to suffer catastrophic impacts. Scans from orbit have detected large concentration of hydrogen. Okay, and Altair. Altair is an unusually large terrestrial world with a trace atmosphere of methane and ammonia. The surface is frozen and mainly composed of sandstone and other sedimentary rock, with deposits of iron and chlorides. Judging by the sedimentary composition of the crust, it appears that Altair once possessed an atmosphere thick enough to support some form of liquid. What cataclysm stripped the atmosphere and left the planet to freeze is not yet currently known. No other planets, so let's just quickly investigate these asteroid fields. Oh, here we go. Asteroid Cluster. A collection of small silicous asteroids loosely bound together by gravity. Oh yeah, I think we found this one before, didn't we? Let's just check that there's nothing else. And let's check the outer cluster. Not finding anything in this one. Strange. Anyway, alright. Well, it is time to make our way to the Hades Gamma cluster. And see if we can make our way to the right system here. I think it's, yeah, this one, Paranata. Okay, as usual. Oh, hang on. MSV Ontario. Is this where we need to go? I think we need to look for some sort of a freight ship. So Ontario is a Kowloon-class modular conveyor of human design configured for mixed freight and passenger hauling. It is making a hard burn for the cover of an asteroid cluster. Sounds like the right place. Let's board. Caden and Garrus. Alright, here we are. Now, before we move in, I just want to spend some points here, particularly for Garrus. Let's bump up his armor. Medium armor, yep. Good. And maybe we'll put in a couple of points into assault rifles. Okay. I see some targets already on the map, so let's get ready for them. I'll take that. Alright, a bit claustrophobic here. Okay, I think I just want to spend time preparing everyone and making sure we've got the right tools for the job here. Might want to switch out Garrus's sniper. Let's move people up here. Just getting a little bit worried about the numbers.
Intruders! Kill the hostage!
Oh, okay. God. Alright, these guys are pretty powerful. Oh. Man, these guys are rushing us. And yeah, they're biotic terrorists, so they've got a lot of biotic powers.
Get down!
Incoming!
Nice. Ooh, gonna have to avoid that. Barrier. Nice. Okay. One more. Okay, very good. Now there's this timer here. I think they mentioned something about killing the hostages, so gotta try and find these hostages quickly, because yeah, we've only got less than 2 minutes now. Okay, just making sure we're not missing any loot. Right. Let's start with this one. No sign of hostages here. Ah, looks like the cockpit. Oh, we got an Omni tool in that one. That's good. They must be in here.
See how it is? You write letters and everyone ignores you. Force is the only thing people appreciate. So how about if I kill Chairman Burns and finish this charade?
Please, I was trying to help you people.
Let's not do anything we're all going to regret.
Why not? What have we got to lose? Since the chairman here decided that we didn't get reparations, we've got nothing left to live for.
But I've changed my mind. Seeing you all, it's clear that you all deserve...
You had your chance. Some L2s are nearly crippled from side effects of the implants, but you voted against reparations.
Think about this. Burns is the one man who can help you.
Yes, if you release me, I can take another look at the reparations request.
What, we're supposed to trust you?
I'm an L2 like you. Trust me. The commander can make sure that Burns follows through.
Sure, you promise us freedom and say everything will be fine, but as soon as we surrender, you'll double-cross us.
I'm not promising to let you go. All I'm saying is that Burns will take another look. Right, Burns?
Absolutely. I had no idea that the L2 biotics were this desperate. If I'd known, the reparations will come. For whatever it's worth, I promise that.
You're right. I don't want to die. Maybe something will happen this time. We surrender.
Thank you, Commander. I thought I was dead when they took me. I'll see to it that the reparations discussion is reopened. I didn't know they were so desperate.
A 5th Fleet cruiser will be by shortly to pick you and the prisoners up.
Alright, and we've completed it just like that.
Thank you, Commander. I thought I was dead when they took me.
Pretty amicably, I might add, which is good. Oh, locker here. Nice. More weapons there. Okay. Well, I think we've completed the mission. Now it's just a matter of making our way back. Which way? Is it this way? Doesn't look like it. Here? No. Well, at least we get to check to make sure that we're not leaving anything behind. Here we go. Alright, back to the Normandy. Alright, very good. That was a nice, short and sweet one. Let's see. I think there is another assignment that we can do within this cluster. I'm just trying to remember which one that might be. Possibly this one. Missing survey team. Yep, here we go. Travel to the Antaeus system in the Hades Gamma cluster. So we are in the right cluster, but we just need to make our way to the Antaeus system. We will do that, but before we do, I just want to go back down and re-equip Garrus's armor, because now that we've upped his armor rating, we should be able to give him one of those new pieces of armor. Hope you're enjoying things so far, guys. I know there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of reading and a lot of listening to codex entries, but yeah, I intend to sort of give everyone as much as I can through this playthrough. Banshee 3 here as well, but I reckon we might save that one for ourselves. Okay, here we go. So, do we want Silverback or the Duelist armor? And the Duelist armor. There we go. Garrus is starting to look like a badass. I reckon we'll give him the shock absorbers. Plus 20% physics threshold. Alright. Yeah, let's give Shepard the Banshee 3. Nice. Should we spend some of our own points here? It might actually be a pretty good idea. I reckon we should just chuck it into Spectre training here and get advanced Unity. So when we do need to revive everyone, we should be able to give them a little bit more health and shields back. Alright, let's go back up and get the show on the road. Okay, let's...
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Thank you for dealing with the hostage situation, Commander. Chairman Burns was quite impressed by the way you resolved the situation peacefully. Your assistance above and beyond the formal duties has been noted, Commander. Fifth Fleet out.
Very cool. Alright, exit out of here, and yeah, let's just quickly scan the entire Farinata system before we make our way. Juntama. Juntama is a small, broiling terrestrial world. Its thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane is being steadily blown off by the powerful solar wind from the star Farinata. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of sulfur with deposits of copper. Its density is low enough to leave the world tidally locked to Farinata. The Alliance Defense Data Network notes that several ships have been spotted cruising near Juntama with transponders turned off. While an Alliance patrol attempted pursuit of one, the unidentified vessel rabbited to Ftl. Its trail was lost when it obscured its light trace in the confusion of signals along the Anansi-Ishtar shipping lane. Okay. Prothean data disk. Scans of Juntama revealed a derelict fighter in mid-stage orbital decay. Your salvage team boarded the vessel and determined it had been attacked by raiders. There was little of value still on board, but the team did find a Prothean data disk. Okay. Next. Maybe we go with the planets first. Tunshigon. Tunshigon is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and nitrogen in its atmosphere. It has an unusually small number of moons for a gas giant, a mere 7. This is no doubt due to the star Farinata capturing the majority of the mass during the nebula collapse that created the system. Next. Neptune. With a rare combination of features, Neptune is of particular interest to the scientific community. Neptune is a small terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and krypton. As with all worlds of Farinata, its surface is scorching hot. The crust mainly consists of silicates laced with iron. While scanning for the planet, you've detected a large deposit of thorium on a nearby moon. Right, let's check these asteroid fields. look like there's anything on this one. Let's just check the inner one. There we go. A rocky asteroid. This large asteroid has several smaller bodies orbiting it. Light metal. A deposit of magnesium. Good. Just checking for anything else in this field. I haven't really seen 2 points of interest in one field, but you never know. Alright, we need to make our way to Antaeus. Here we go. Okay, no asteroid fields in this one. Let's work our way from the top. Hunidor is a moderately sized ice world with an extremely thin atmosphere composed of krypton and xenon. Its frozen surface is unusually smooth, suggesting widespread repaving by cryovolcanic processes, though no such activity is currently evident. Trebin. Here we go. Trebin is a modest terrestrial world with an atmosphere composed of nitrogen and argon. Its surface is mainly composed of nickel with deposits of silver. Trebin's environment is relatively mild, but the scarcity of water or similar enabling substances has prevented the development of any biosphere. Exogeny Corp recently performed a test impact of a single water ice comet into the surface, the first step of a long-term plan to thicken the atmosphere and introduce water to the environment. A survey team is on the surface monitoring the geological and meteorological effects of the test impact. Most of the water released is still in the form of atmospheric vapor, but thick cloud banks have formed. There is every indication that this arid world will soon see its first rain. The survey team's progress have been hampered by frequent mechanical or computer failures in the GPS satellite. Okay, I think this is the place because if I recall, it is the Exogeny Corp that has lost a survey team. Before we do though, let's just check out all of the other planets. Edmos is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of methane in its atmosphere. If Trebin's terraforming is successful, it is expected that a helium-3 fuel refining facility for the system will be set up here. A large concentration of hydrogen. Ploba. Ploba is the second and by far the larger of Antaeus's 2 gas giants. Active scans by survey ships have returned tantalizing indications of massive solid structures deep within the atmosphere, too regular in pattern to be anything natural. Some believe Ploba is a Jupiter brain, a planet-sized supercomputer. Adherents of this theory have fruitlessly beamed signals towards the sunken megastructures, hoping to get the machine's attention. Others believe that an ancient spacefaring race disposed of their weapons of war by dumping them into the planet. The last attempt to research and salvage Ploba's deep anomalies went tragically wrong and ended with a crew of 12 being trapped and crushed in the giant's lower atmosphere. He recovered a strange object orbiting Ploba. Chief Engineer Adams and Tali tried to unsuccessfully determine its origin. They did find one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings stored within. A gecko. During the initial survey of the Antaeus system, only a single flyby probe was spared for the small, scorched world of a gecko. It revealed a planet unusually rich in heavier elements, given its size. A gecko is a standard terrestrial within a thin atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its crust is mainly composed of magnesium with deposits of cobalt and other heavy metals. Due to extremely rough, cratered terrain, starships are discouraged from landing. Vemul is an enormous terrestrial world of mixed rock and ice, with an atmosphere of methane and ethane. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of calcium with deposits of iron. Because of noxious surface gases, explorers are warned to use extreme caution. And survey this one. A large deposit of uranium. Okay. And I think that is all of the planets, so let's go back to Trebon and let's land. And as usual, we're going to take Garrus and Kaidan for this one. And let's go. Now we have been playing for quite a bit today, guys, so I reckon once we've landed on Trebon, this might be a pretty good place for a bit of a break. So, hope you're enjoying the playthrough so far, guys. Leave a like, dislike, or a comment or two down below. Stay true, and as usual, I'll see you in the next one.